It's true, Trailblazers. The 4-star character Sampo can be obtained in Honkai Star Rail for free, 100% guaranteed from this month's Starlight exchange. And when I say for free, I mean that you don't have to spend any real money, but you do have to exchange 140 Starlight to get Sampo in this way. This game throws more than enough free warps at you to make earning that 140 Starlight very possible even for free-to-play players. Whether you're free-to-play or not, Sampo is a unique character you should at least consider acquiring while you can. He can buff his team's damage over time effects, which makes him an excellent ally for some current and upcoming characters. Right now, there aren't very many characters who would synergize with a damage over time playstyle, so Sampo is one of your only options for playing that kind of team. Now, I do want to say that as much of a Sampo fan as I am, both in terms of personality and the playstyle he offers, I haven't bought him yet, even though I have enough currency to do so. Stick around if you want to know why I'm not building him yet, and also to talk more about Sampo's kit and how it synergizes with other characters. I'm Yokopa Joe, by the way, welcome to my channel, and let's just dive right in here. Sampo's talent gives all of his attacks a chance to apply Wind Shear. Wind Shear is a wind damage over time effect. Sampo's skill does 1 hit of wind damage to the target you select, then bounces around 4 more times, dealing more damage to random enemies. It's a lot like Asta's skill, and it's great for breaking enemies weak to wind. If Sampo does get a break, he'll apply an instance of Wind Shear, which can exist alongside any other Wind Shears from his talent. Whichever way the Wind Shears are applied, they can all get buffed by Sampo's ultimate. Sampo's ultimate deals damage to all enemies and has a 100% base chance to inflict a debuff that increases incoming damage over time damage. There is currently nothing else like this debuff in the game, which is why Sampo is so unique. He supports his team's ability to utilize damage over time effects while applying damage over time himself. Sampo would work well alongside characters like Serval and Hook, who apply DOTs using their skill, or Sushang and Asta, who are likely to break enemies and inflict damage over time debuffs that way. The catch with Sampo is that right now his teams aren't the best. Sure, he has some synergies available, but using a straight up buffer like Ting Yun is likely to increase a team's damage output more than using Sampo even in a damage over time focused team. This isn't because Sampo is bad or useless, he just fills a niche that isn't ready to be filled yet. Sampo's defining characteristic in terms of gameplay is his ultimate, more specifically that debuff it applies, which makes enemies take more DOT damage. Even if we look at a character like Serval, who gets a lot of her damage from DOT effects, damage over time still only makes up a portion of the total damage she deals, so Sampo's ultimate is only buffing a portion of her damage. Compare this to Ting Yun's ultimate, which applies a buff to all of the damage a character does. Now, Sampo isn't out of the race yet. Ting Yun applies her buffs to single targets, while Sampo applies a debuff which all allies can benefit from. We just need to find a functioning team that deals a large enough portion of its damage through damage over time so that Sampo's ultimate debuff can actually be a better option than some other support. If only there was a character who could make enemies take extra ticks of damage from DOTs. A character who could also apply damage over time themselves. A character like Kafka. Yes, Kafka. She's not just mommy, she's also the hero of today's video. Kafka is already playable during the game's intro, and she was also available previously for beta testing. This is why we actually already know a lot about what she brings to the table. We won't be talking about the entirety of Kafka's kit as it is a bit beyond the scope of this video, but we will go over that which is relevant to the Sampo and Kafka pairing. First of all, Kafka's skill does AoE damage and has a chance to apply the Shock debuff to enemies hit. Shock is the lightning damage over time effect, which means that this damage can be buffed by Sampo. More importantly, Kafka's skill will also instantly trigger all damage over time effects currently applied to the main target of her skill. This is absolutely massive for teams focused around doing damage over time. Normally, these DOT effects will only trigger at the start of the affected enemy's turn, but Kafka's skill allows her to trigger the damage another time on her own turn. If Kafka's speed is the same as the enemy's, then she will straight up double the number of times an enemy takes DOT damage per turn. If Kafka is faster than the enemy, then oh boy, she will more than double the number of DOT procs per turn. Now let's go back and remember that the reason why adding Sampo to a team is basically never better than adding a more general purpose support like Asta or Ting Yun is because Sampo is so specialized in buffing damage over time effects. There are no existing teams that get a large enough percentage of their total damage from DOTs. And this is why Kafka is going to be our hero. If she can just double the number of damage over time procs an enemy is taking, then the portion of the team's damage coming from DOT damage will shoot up very, very significantly. Sampo suddenly starts looking like a very appealing support for Kafka if he's going to be able to amplify all that DOT damage with his ultimate and apply even more DOTs with all of his attacks. The question now is, even on a team like Kafka's with a damage profile that consists of way more DOT damage, will Sampo be the best option? Well, we can't actually know until we have the exact numbers and details for Kafka and do some testing. The point of this video isn't to tell you that Sampo is going to be Kafka's best in-slot support. Nobody knows who that will be yet. I was just really excited to see Sampo in the Starlight shop and wanted to share that info with everyone. And I figured this would be a great time to also talk about the problems Sampo has right now, as well as the team synergies that are just beyond the horizon. I did mention that despite my own excitement for Sampo, I will not be making that Starlight exchange just yet. It's not because I can't yet confirm if Sampo will be best for Kafka. It's not because I'm waiting until the end of the month to make sure I don't need to spend all my Starlight on warps and a last-ditch effort to pull a limited banner character. And it's not even because I know that Sampo is probably going to be on Kafka's banner anyway. The reason is actually very simple. I don't have enough resources to even build him and use him right now. I've been anticipating pulling for Silverwolf since I played her in the game's intro and saw her ban user ultimate. It totally reminded me of playing Xbox with my friends and hearing some random hacker in the Modern Warfare 2 lobby threaten to hack my account and ban me. Silverwolf is like if that guy was a cute girl and well, she actually can ban me from being alive by using her ultimate. All this to say that from now until the start of Silverwolf's banner, all of my Trailblaze power is going towards preparing materials for my waifu. If I were to spend my Trailblaze power now on building Sampo, then when Silverwolf comes out, I will have to wait like 3 days before I can finish even building her traces. This would be an unacceptable outcome. Sampo can wait a few days. Silverwolf, in my opinion, cannot. Now would be the time for you to take to the comment section and tell me why I'm wrong, Sampo actually cannot wait, and I need to build him right now or else I'm an ugly loser. And to my fellow Silverwolf simps out there, take arms. The waifu wars have only just begun. If you like this video, then don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more.